All right. Hello, everybody. I'm going to bring Ingrid up on stage in just a second. But before I do, just wanted to say hello. I'm still kind of getting used to the whole new process that you have to use in order to go live on Instagram and Facebook. Everything has changed recently. And so, still trying to get live on Instagram. So let's give it just one more second. Let me see what I can do. In the meantime, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and bring Ingrid up on stage. And Ingrid, hello.
Hello, good
Good
morning.
to see you. Can you give us just a brief description of what we're going to be talking about today? And while you do, I'm going to run over to Instagram and see if I can get us live there, and then we'll be off to the races.
Sounds good, Kelly. Thanks for having me once again. And yeah, I'm here to talk about Masingi, which is a brand new class format that I launched a year ago at the IDEA convention. And it's been growing and evolving ever since. And Masingi is a Swahili word that actually means base, elemental, and foundational. And from that place is where we start to explore functional movement. And I think all the fitness pros out there can relate to the importance of functional movement. It is basic and simple, but it's not easy. So I
I
decided.
love that. I say that all the time. It's simple, but it's not easy.
Exactly, very big difference, right? But it's not
For
that exciting. It's a little bit boring. So what I decided to do was kind of put an Afrocentric flavor on top of all the essential movements that we need: squats, lunges, pushing, pulling, rotating. But let's do it to Afro beats. Let's give it a vibe. Let's connect it to animals and nature and make it interesting and also multi-level in the spirit of earth, wind, and fire. So that, in a nutshell, is Masingi.
Amazing. So I think that you said some really cool things. I want to talk about functional movement because it's something that we see a lot of people starting to specialize in, starting to really build programs around. It's something that we as transformational coaches are really starting to get plugged into. And before we do, let's introduce ourselves. So I'm Kelly Coulter. I am the host and creator of the Healthpreneur Hub, which is an 8,500 member Facebook group. We all are building our businesses there. I teach people how to create transformational programs so that they can leverage their time and stop doing so much one-on-one. And then my second level students are all focus on sales. I teach social sales skills. I'm a lifelong marketer and entrepreneur. So I teach sales skills to healthpreneurs. Ingrid, you are the winner of IDEA's 2024 Instructor of the Year. Congratulations. Oh, I love it.
It
How
feels good. I'm
exciting
not
is
going to lie.
that? So last week I had Christine on. This week I've got you. I've got to go through all the
There we
winners.
go. Yeah. The whole gang.
The whole game. Get them together, check on what they're doing.
Exactly. It's a dynamic group for sure.
Love it. I love it. Well, congratulations on that. I know that's really exciting. It makes for a busy year for you. And one
Thank
of the
you.
things that secured that win for you was your creation of Masingi, which is very different from any other format. What is it that you think really draws your most successful instructors into teaching this format versus anything else that's out there?
Yeah, I think group fitness has always been that place where we see excitement. We always want to be drawing in new members and keeping our existing members engaged and excited. So, I've been doing this for 30 years. I've come up with plenty of other formats in the past, but this one really I'm deeply connected to for a number of reasons. But again, it's the same foundational principles of how to keep people motivated and excited. Give them something new, give them something doable, but also differentiate. And I don't know, I'm in a few groups of instructors and coaches, and I'm seeing a lot of concern out there with declining participation numbers. And my answer to that is, when was the last time you changed your playlist? When was the last time you did something new and innovative and exciting? And I think, yoga's been around for centuries, Zumba's been around for decades, and now Masingi, it's the new exciting thing to just add to your schedule, add to your clients' programs, and give them something new to kind of bite and chew.
I love it. One of the things that you mentioned when I put you on the spot and asked you to introduce the show for us is you mentioned functional movement. And that is a huge hot topic for a lot of us. Our populations are aging. A lot of us are aging. I'm seeing that fitness instructors actually have longevity in their career, unlike any other career that we see. We stick with it. I think
Absolutely.
people who are fitness instructors for life, a lot of us. Tell me a little bit more about the functional movement aspect of Mazingi.
Yeah, for sure. Again, that term, simple but not easy. We start to limit our movement as soon as it starts to get, of course, painful or uncomfortable. We also tend to gravitate to what we're good at. So what I'm starting to see, a year in with 15 instructors already certified and teaching classes at 10 of our clubs here in the Vancouver area,
Nice.
I'm seeing the different types of attendees. It's a very wide range because the movements in and of themselves are very practical and again, accessible. But I'm seeing, runners who are like, oh, I haven't rotated my lumbar spine in that way, and I didn't realize the difference in the range of motion on one side versus the other. And then I'm seeing, newer folks to movement who are like, oh, this is actually fun and enjoyable, and my body feels good afterwards. I don't feel so sore. So it's a movement practice that allows for, again, very different ability ranges. I'm seeing athletes, I'm seeing seniors, I'm seeing younger students, and they're all finding something to kind of grab onto that makes this movement practice again, simple but challenging as you want it to be. But I like to call it a work on as opposed to a workout, because we're all
Oh,
discovering different things about what our bodies can and can't do, what feels good, what feels imbalanced, what feels strong, what feels weak. So in this way, I think it's very, again, inclusive and accessible without being punishing. I think we've done a really great job in
so
fitness
important these
doing
days.
things, intense and, hit this and explosive that and ultimate that. And that can be very intimidating and daunting and uncomfortable. So I wanted to create a practice that was, again, very gentle but challenging and doable for a wide range of bodies. And when you add in Afro beats, that's a whole other element of just music, as we know. It's infectious, it can make people feel good, but it also has very, there's a neuroscience behind it, right?
Yeah.
We tend to like to move to rhythm and tempo. So I am very careful to say that Masingi is not dance. I think people are quick to categorize things. And one of the explanations I heard someone say was, oh, it's like Zumba, but to Afro beats. And I just want to be clear that that's just not what Masingi is. It's definitely not
I
dance.
noticed that. So one of the things that you've done in the past is you've come on and you've done a demo inside the Healthpreneur Hub. Y'all, if you want to find that, all you do is go to the search at the top of the group on Facebook, and you can search and you'll find her live demo. And one of the things that I noticed is that it's not a situation where you're like teaching one movement and then adding on and adding on. It's not going to be like choreography blocks. Am I
Exactly.
correct in that?
Yeah, and I mean, again, having been in this space for many, many years, I can truly relate to instructors and coaches, and what makes your life easier is structure, right? But
Mhm.
what we also enjoy in our roles is being creative. So I wanted to create something that had that freedom within structure. So what you have in Masingi is only 11 movements. It's only 11. That's all you need to remember. But those 11 movements are in a sequence of intensity, again, in the spirit of earth, wind, and fire. So in truth, it's 33 movements if you break it down that way. So as an instructor, I can plan my class based on the group or the demographic that I know I'm going to teach. And I can say, okay, I want to do lower body, upper body, core. but I want to do the lower body in an intensity level that's, in the wind variation. For the upper body, I know my folks need a little more foundational movement there, so I'm going to take that down to the earth variation. But for the core, I know that they really want to get fired up in the core, so I'm going to take that to the fire variation. So there's my class structure, 15 minutes in each zone, and there's my 45-minute class. So
So would you say that the elements align with cardio zones or not so much?
Um, not so much. I mean, the fire variation definitely is focused on power and speed and being more dynamic. So you will get your heart rate up higher in that intensity level. But I would say not all the levels are cardio per se. It's a
Mm.
balance of kind of stamina work, strength work, and definitely mobility work as well.
Oh my gosh, I'm so glad we're having this discussion because it's helping me understand even further. I've watched your demo, and now hearing you talk about it, is really really helpful.
Mhm.
One of the questions that came to mind as you were describing class a little bit earlier was around the different demographics or levels of people that you might have in class. Can you talk more about how you would group your people? Like, would you be able to accommodate a lot of different fitness levels in the same class, or would you try to separate them out?
Definitely the goal is to accommodate all bodies. I like to say the class is terrific for ages 9 to 99. But the reality is it's a barefoot practice. I like to use 2 yoga mats in a plus sign, because in that way you're kind of cushioned in a multi-directional way. But I will be honest, there is floor work, right? So getting on all fours in the spirit of a hippo, for example. So that's loading the shoulders and wrists. So, folks with carpal tunnel, I would say use your fists instead of palms flat down on the mat. I've had some participants with mobility issues, and we've used a stability ball kind of under
Mhm.
the belly just to offset the load bearing. But for the vast majority, I mean, we all need to ideally be able to get down onto the floor and get back up well into our senior years, right?
True story.
So again, I would say I'm encouraging people to do what you can, not what you can't, but also stay in the earth variation of a lot of these movements. They're very basic. And then when you feel able and strong and mobile enough to elevate to what we call the wind variation or the fire variation, you have those options available to you, but you can always dial it back to, again, that earth zone, which is, again, very basic and not as intense.
Beautiful, beautiful. And I know that you also have some playlists, some African dance inspired playlists on the
Yes.
Vibes Music app. Is that correct?
That is correct. What a fantastic platform. Yeah, music is very essential to this practice, and it's tough to find on your traditional fitness music resources. So I was very happy to work with Denise over at Vibes Music app to collaborate and access a full library of really engaging Afrobeat tunes. And I've put together so far. I've got 5 playlists on the app that are exclusive, and certainly Afrobeats is available on your other platforms such as iTunes and Spotify. But you want to be careful. You want to be careful with what you play and
Licensing
where
is
you
not
play it.
always there.
We need to be aware of those legalities for sure.
Beautiful, beautiful stuff. So I know you and I had talked about you coming on and doing another demo, and I had kind of given you the autonomy to, just schedule that and go live within the Healthpreneur group whenever you like. Do we have a date for that, or will we announce that later?
I don't think we've locked anything in, but I was gonna just put it out there. I have the pleasure of being the featured instructor all next week at Rancho La Puerta. So
Oh,
from there, I would love to try and schedule a live stream, maybe at this time next week or next Tuesday or Thursday, something along those lines. But yeah, hoping to lock in a time for a different backdrop perhaps, and to just engage with all the viewers out there from there.
Beautiful. Okay, so look for an announcement of that live Masingi demo coming next week, and Ingrid will come live to us from Rancho La Puerto. So beautiful backdrop, probably some flowers, some desert,
Ooh, we'll see. Yeah.
the sea. Yeah, it'll be lovely. I've just heard such good things. I'm dying to be invited to come teach there. So if anybody from there is watching,
Yeah, yeah.
yoga right here. Um, and so also you've got an upcoming certification that is
Yes.
going to be happening in November.
Yes, Saturday, November 16th is the next opportunity for folks to take the Masingi Master Trainer course, whether that's for personal development and growth or professional CECs. You'll get both. It is approved for 12 AFA CECs or 1.2 NASM CECs. So it's an online course this time, 4 hours together on a virtual platform, and then of course a quiz and some homework. But in order to get fully certified, you would need to submit a video where you're demonstrating, the 11 fundamental movements and demonstrating some variety in terms of the earth, wind, and fire options. But I would love to certify more instructors and get more classes happening, because what I'm hearing from our members here is that they're moving pain-free for the first time in years. They're discovering imbalances in their bodies that they can better address through these functional movements. And they're more inclined to come to class because we're building a community. The other thing I'll mention is that, we do Masingi in a circular formation as opposed to the instructor in front and rows and that, hierarchical structure.
Oh, that's really fun. I love that.
It's just a different energy. You'll see the Masingi logo is a circle made of dots and representing, an African drum circle. That's an ancient way of communicating effectively and really sharing energy. And you're just going to find, actually, one participant said to me recently, it's not just the movement; it's almost meditative. Because you're hearing this driving beat throughout the class, and that, again, combination of movement to music. It's, again, not dance, but that rhythmical tempo. It ends up elevating not only your physical feeling, but your mental outlook as well. So again, lots of benefits with the movement practice, and I'm just keen to share it and see it grow.
Love it. I love it. Okay, so everyone get out there and check out the certification. I've put the link into the comments. It's masingimovement.com/get-certified. That's where you'll find the information about the upcoming certification. We will be announcing your live demo that will happen sometime over the next week from Rancho de la Puerta. Is it de la Puerta or La Puerta?
Rancho La Puerta. Yes. Yes.
And anything else you want to let us know about?
Gosh, no, just, from every perspective, whether you're a programmer, kind of owner operator, or whether you are a practitioner, or whether you are a participant, I think from every angle, Masingi gives you something really, again, solid to bite and chew, differentiate yourself, but also really benefit from working on yourself.
Love it. So good. Okay, I'm running over here, checking the comments, making sure we don't have any questions from our live participants. I know so many of you see this in the replay. Please feel free to ask your questions, make your comments. We will come back and check, and we will answer your questions as they come in. Ingrid, thank you so much for joining me today. It's so
Thank you
good to
for
see
having
you.
me. I'm very, again, thrilled to be here. And I did want to say one more thing, which is if one chooses to get certified as a Masingi instructor, you will become part of another community, which is the Masingi Instructor Collective. So in that way, you're going to get ongoing support, examples of how to sequence all of the movements, playlists, all of that jazz. So I just wanted to add that.
Direct access to the Instructor of the Year.
Oh, there we go. Fantastic.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
Thanks again, Kelly.
All right, y'all comment with your questions and we will see you next week, same time.